Welcome to Keeper of Secrets Tarot. I am Gypsy Girl here to bring you another reading for Scorpio. This is for February 2025. I thank you, Spirit, for protecting and keeping the collective safe, for protecting me and keeping me safe. Scorpio, I thank you for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. Most of all, for showing up. Scorpio. It's a sigh of relief that I'm picking up here. Shuffling. Cards are feeling light. I know there's a reversed card for feeling it. It's because I turned it over yesterday when I was doing the Leo read. Let's see if it'll show up. And the deck just split open on the Fool and the Center class. So having that knowledge and understanding and being able to speak in authority. We have the Knight of Cups. So really eager to set forward and having that hope that you will have what you want, and what you want, in some cases it's you want to bring a proposal for marriage. Some of us it's a proposal for work. Either way, you want to set forward and you're eager to do so. For February, looking good for you. I think that's what I said when I did your reading in January, that you would have a new start or something along those lines. This deck splits again with the Fool and 8 of Good Cheer with the 9 of Canes. So hopeful but worried that you may have to move on, or that someone is moving on. Again, Scorpio, it is going from 8 to 9, so it really depends on your situation at this point. We have the Knight of Good Cheer, so that proposal, wanting more out of a relationship and worried that you won't get it. Again, it's worrying never solves anything, and if you're worried that someone is leaving and you're looking for ways to keep them, then they're definitely going to leave. If it is that someone needs to leave, then you would be the first one to say, okay, it's time to go. Otherwise, you want to heal that relationship. You want to reconcile because you have that understanding that if it is that they don't want to stay, then the next step is to heal and move on. But there seems to be a reconciliation with healing that may occur. So cheer up. They may change their mind. They may decide that they do want to come back. And these two cards, again, see, we have the Queen of Good Cheer with the Fool. So taking that initiative and being open, following your instincts, being open to that love. You're looking at the full moon in the background here, looking at the hope is by the full moon you'll have an answer. And it's quite possible that you may. This deck is just spilling over with messages. It splits quite easily. And that's okay. Just one more shuffle here. We're gonna, again, it's split with the 4 of Canes and the 7 of Candles. So a healing conversation and standing in integrity, making that judgment call, being honest about how you feel about the person. Again, it's still going along the lines of a relationship that may be on the rocks, and you want to heal that, and it will heal. And if it is that you allow for them to stay or to go, it is their choice. Or if it may just be you that is is thinking that you may have to leave a relationship, or you're not sure if you want to stay, then have it out, have that conversation, and let the person know how you really feel, or open the door for them to be able to let you know how they feel. Again, you see it's the Yuletide Tarot that I've been using for the last read in January. I'm doing it again this month for February. It is a 5-card spread. Take the cards at random, beginning with the past. We're going back as far back as you need to. If it is that you're just following up from January, well, that would be a month ago where you're changing perspective. Or you may go back further as to the reasons why you need to change perspective, or you've been looking into how to change your perspective, becoming very patient with yourself and with others. Again, that's what the past has brought you to, to realize that you do need to change perspective, or that you need to wait for the right moment, or both. Here we have the Page of Swords. So being that you're waiting, truth will come. Being that you change perspective, you're able to speak the truth. Just making sure you're in focus. And the truth will come, because that's what's happening. This is at the beginning of the month, and we will have the truth because now we have the Two of Swords. So the right moment is what we're waiting for communication. And we have the Seven of Canes. So again, we're dealing with swords. Might be you're dealing with air signs, but it's very mental. This is where you're working on a plan of action. You're looking to change perspective with the 8 swords here, and then the 9 swords. Again, we're coming back to the 9 of swords. So it is a question of allowing that space for a choice in moving on or staying. No ultimatum. I mean, that's what we're looking at here, that there will be an ultimatum. Someone wants to bring in or make an ultimatum, but it's going to be difficult because it's the 8 swords are broken up here. But I wouldn't suggest putting out ultimatums. It's a question of changing the perspective and seeing the point of view of another person, and being open and intelligent enough to have the conversation and make a new strategy, have a new plan, or see your way to allowing for them to make their choice, or allowing yourself to make your choice as to what you want for the future. Because we saw the Sinterklaas, and that is having that understanding, having that knowledge, having the know-how, and taking the steps of being in authority to make decisions. Here we have our 7 of Wands, or the 7 of Candles in this deck. This is where integrity comes in. So the success of having a strategy take form in wanting to open up and share and be emotional with the next person, or them with you, will make for integrity to take its place by the end of the month, because you're going over all of that. Again, it comes down to changing your perspective. It comes down to being honest and being open to honesty, and approaching the situation with honesty. That's what it's calling for that in this read. And the final card is our Page of Gifts. So here we have the new plan, the focus, to be focusing on the relationship is what I see here. We want to build on something, and having the integrity, taking the higher ground, defending what needs to be defended, and not allowing anyone to walk over your plans, or you in particular, will bring a new set of plans toward the end, in the sense where you're taking the higher ground, you're seeing things differently, you're really paying attention to how things were, and your understanding of that brings you to project where you want to go, and therefore you take that initiative to make new plans. So it could be that some of you will walk away from a relationship, and others of you will change how you view your relationship and how you deal with the next person. All right, let's take a few cards to elaborate on how the month is going to go. So the first couple of weeks we're starting up. I think this is how I saw, this is what I was thinking I saw the end of your read may have been with this card, but don't hold me to that, please. It just looks familiar. A new beginning. You see that communication, that wanting to have something new. The potential is there. The offer is in hand. It may be a secret. Maybe it's being held back because what you really want, someone isn't ready for, or maybe you are not ready for. You're thinking about it because we're in the planning stages. Here we have the page, here we have the page, but it is in the mental stage, this page of Canes, and this is in the doing stage, this page of Pentacles, which represents the ace in itself, as in the offer. Coming toward the end of the month, that offer may come by the moon, by the full moon, the offer may come, or the plan is to make the offer. Whether it is you or someone else coming to you. But here we have the Five of Gifts with the Seven of Swords. So it was very dicey, your relationship, or the thought of having to change perspective because we want to overcome how we were treated, or asking for that forgiveness in the sense where perspective needs to change, where you were being seen in a light that you didn't find pleasing, or maybe you were seeing the next person in a light that wasn't so pleasing, where they were taking advantage or you were taking advantage. Someone had taken advantage and they left with everything, or that it's been the experience of having to leave with everything or leaving everything behind. In some cases you're feeling robbed, or you will be robbed, or it'll be taken from you. Like there's that lack of confidence that needs to really shift. We should take another card because it's kind of deadly here. Oh boy, more fives. Okay, so the strategy in itself is to overcome arguments and betrayals and feeling like I've been betrayed. Don't want to argue anymore is where the change of perspective comes in. We want to overcome that. We want to see the person, or we want to be seen in a better light, where we can have a discussion rather than a fight over words or over ideas, or my plan is better than yours and I'm better than you, or this other person has better ideas, or that kind of dealing is, you want it, that is what needs to change. See, seeing that everybody has a valid opinion, seeing that everybody has value, and no one is actually better than the next. That is what we need to come into, and this is where I would look at this as it is going to be understood. That's where the Sinterklaas comes in, huh? To be able to understand that not having enough, not being enough, not being recognized, and getting past that. You see, if you see what I mean, Scorpio, you would, because that is where the change comes, where that's understanding the self and not wanting to self-sabotage because I don't feel good enough, or they will see me as not good enough. That is what you need to heal. That is what you need to change. Like, whether it is in yourself or you having that conversation with another person, that's where the victory is, where you will either yourself overcome it or you will help the next person to overcome it. Because we see from this turmoil, we come to take the higher ground. So there is that clarity, that understanding that the strategy is to be better, not to belittle the self or another person. And there's where the victory is. So it's not easy. This is toward the middle of the month. This is where the peak is, okay? Where you really have to dig down deep inside and really reckon with what you want and being able to speak with the next person about what they want. Then we come to the 7. We come with another 7. So we have the 7 of gifts, and that tells us that the investment is where the integrity lies, where you're ready to invest in this relationship, or they are ready to invest in this relationship. And that is where the conversation is going to bring you into making that choice to invest into the relationship or not, and taking the higher ground and moving away, or taking the higher ground and staying, depending on how that goes through the middle of the month. And if you're focused on having a relationship with the person and you are changing the way you see them, or they are changing the way they see you or yourselves, you're seeing how to change your behaviors between you both, then yes, it will work. It will be a victory to have the relationship. And then again, it could be the victory to realize that this relationship is over. Again, perspective. It's depending on your situation. Here we see the 9 of gifts. So ready to have that relationship is where you will be headed, if it is that you find your way to coming into understanding each other and being able to communicate without fighting. Then the investment in itself will prove to be a victory of becoming deeper into a relationship and being able to make those plans on getting to be a serious relationship and leading towards having a home and a family together with the next person. Seems very straightforward, but then again, it is on the pivot. If it is that you're fighting and you're not able to communicate clearly, then of course it's going to go in the other direction. But if it works out, it will prove itself by the middle of the month. The 4, the Emperor, this is where that responsibility is taken, and this is where plans are being made to step forward and be a father, be a husband, depending on if you will be that person or if you are having conversation and feeling that the relationship is going towards marriage. Well, you'll know at the end of the month. And there it is. Sinterklaas comes back. So the victory is yours, Scorpio, if it is that you are looking for marriage with a particular person. It's a question of being patient and being open to the offer, making the offer, but having conversation that is true and honest about how you feel, how they feel, how you view the relationship, where you want things to go. Having that conversation brings you to determine where you want to take this relationship with the next person. All right, let's take an oracle message because it's very positive. See, again, the toughest part would be toward the middle of the month. But you're working with honesty. That's the key here. Being honest. Being honest with yourself, being honest with them. Thank you, Spirit, for protecting and keeping the collective safe. What is the oracle message for Scorpio for February 2025? Again, it's the Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle that I'm using. I'm going to pull a random card. The solstice comes back. Oof, the darkest hour. That's, like I said, you have to go through a little bit of soul searching and coming away from where you've been, changing the perspective, being able to face what needs to be faced between you, within yourself, knowing what you really want. That's where, if you're feeling like you've been betrayed, you need to have it out. You need to speak that. All hail the cunning truth in which it burns deep within root. Rise above the ashes and claim. The gods are awaiting your glory, your name. Go with what is honest. Go with how you feel. Measure what you've had with the person. If it is that you're really dealing, this feels very strongly like you need to choose if you want to be in a relationship or not. You have to, not that you want to choose, but you must. In some cases, it could be the divorce of a relationship where you're coming to an end. You're just, okay, I can't be in this relationship anymore. I need to leave. And some of you are, should I continue along the lines? Should we go toward marriage? I mean, it's one or the other when we see the Emperor and the Sinterklaas here. And then, of course, we have our Seven of Swords with feeling left out and arguing over points of opinions where whatever is I say, you belittle it, or whatever I want, you give me a reason I can't. It's these arguments here. Some of us are going to go through that. And if you can't come to understanding and really hearing the next person, well, the next step is to take the higher ground and make new plans and leave. And if you can't salvage the relationship, well, that is the next best thing. And the victory is in being honest about what you really want. Facing our own truth. There in the void of thy darkness swells the shadow of the soul, swallowing the wickedness into the blackness of its wholeness. And again, facing what is the ugliest thing about yourself and being able to speak with the next person about that. And vice versa, having real truth come. On that note, Scorpio, I thank you for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. Until our next read, love and light.